I, 47 male, have a 22-year-old daughter. She's in college and lives on campus. I agreed to help her make car payments since she was in school. I was recently informed by a young man I work with that my daughter is a dancer at a club about 40 minutes away. I confronted her on this and she said she didn't plan to do it after she graduated and she needed some money. I told her then work at McDonald's, not use her body. We got into an argument and I asked her to quit stripping and get a decent job then. She refused and said dancing was easy money. So basically I said there was no need for me to pay her car payment anymore since she's making money so easily. She got upset and said that wasn't fair and that she doesn't make enough for that. I told her to figure it out. She told my wife about what happened and my wife is upset by her job of choice but says it's unfair for me to stop supporting her so suddenly over an argument. I think it's perfectly fair. It's my money and my decision when to cut it off. She had a scholarship but she has nothing she needs paid for. I cover everything. So, am I the idiot for refusing to help my daughter with her car payment because of her shameless job? What kind of idiot tells a woman's parents that they saw their daughter at the club, as if that's any of his business to get into? Your gross co-worker, who goes to such clubs to ogle women but then tattletales on them, is the biggest idiot in this, in my opinion. You should have asked the guy you work with what he hoped to gain by telling you this. Probably tried to hit on her and was told to go away. The fact that the dad wasn't concerned in the slightest about how this co-worker knew this, obviously because he saw her, but was all up in arms about his daughter dancing, says it all. It's okay for men to go to clubs and watch the ladies, but if the lady is someone they know? How dare she? One of the most annoying and misogynistic double standards ever. Famous poet expresses it well. Who is worse, he who pays to sin or she who is paid to sin? Don't see OP cutting off that co-worker. Or his co-worker is made up to hide OP goes to club and saw his daughter there. How the heck else would a co-worker recognize his daughter? You are the idiot, dude. You can do what you want with your money, but you absolutely showed your true colors. And it's red, as in red flags for the way you treat women. Super good point. I don't have a clue what any of my co-workers' adult children look like. That would also explain OP's seemingly casual acceptance of the news from the co-worker and his disproportionate rage and retaliation directed in full at his daughter. I've never had an issue with a woman's choice to be an exotic dancer. It's a good job with good pay. OP is a complete and total idiot for his response. Yeah, OP, she's doing what she has to do. Like it or not, every job anyone has ever worked is selling their body and their time. How is the labourer who has a bad back by 50 selling their body any less? Also, your aiding paying her car payments wasn't contingent on her having a specific job or staying away from a specific job. So moving the goalpost now is ridiculous. Are you prepared to destroy your relationship with your child over this? Because it just might. My husband passed away recently after a very sudden and difficult struggle. It was easily the worst thing to happen in my life. The damage was invisible for years. We never saw it coming. He got so sick so fast. After they diagnosed him, he lived a little over a year. We called all our family, including his mother, who otherwise we don't have much contact with. I've always hated that woman. She's always been cruel to him, put him down every chance she could. When we called saying her son was terminally ill, she first denied it, insisted we were lying. Then she went on about how we should have seen this coming, that this is just what happens when you're a drunk. Of course, this shut down the call pretty fast. She only called once after that and we didn't pick up. A little over a year later, I had to bring him to the hospital and in 2 days he was gone. At that point, he was already just so confused and hardly conscious. I told my parents and his brothers and we were the last people to see him. I wasn't doing very well at the time either. Everything just happened so fast. I wasn't ready to make any of those decisions, and between the doctors and the bills and just seeing him so sick, I didn't even think about his mother. In the days after, I just didn't want to deal with her. I know that's horrible, but I was just so tired. She called me a few weeks later. I'm not sure how she heard. She was hysterical, which I know is understandable. She said I robbed her of saying goodbye to her son and robbed him of a proper service. I should have just hung up, but I was so hurt and so angry. I informed her a very nice service was held, which every important person in his life was there. I said she must be mistaken and blocked her number. She's gone ballistic. She called my brother-in-laws in tears about how I've ruined her life, gone on Facebook about how devastated she is and publicly begging me to talk to her, how she just wants his things and to know what happened. Even my parents said it wasn't my place to make that choice for my husband, and I should try to talk with her. I know I probably should. I know he was hers before he was mine, but she made him miserable, and if he'd been able to choose, I know he wouldn't have wanted her there. I don't think she deserved to see him, and I don't think she deserves to have any of the things that were his. But now that I write it all out, it really sounds horrible. Maybe I'm out of line to make that call. The only people who haven't said I was being cruel are my husband's 2 brothers, who know how she can be. But other than them, she was the only family he had. Maybe it isn't my right to interfere with that. Maybe beyond idiot. Am I an absolutely awful person? You said she has 2 other sons. Didn't they inform her about your husband? The 2 other people who would actually know best how your husband would feel about her thought she shouldn't be there. So it sounds like you did the right thing. You're not the idiot. Here's how it goes in normal family. Man dies, widow informs the other brothers and forgets to inform mother-in-law. All brothers mourn and make calls to each other and mum and all commiserate together. All the family is shocked and messages and calls to mom, cousins and friends fly back and forth. Why the heck hasn't it happened here? How is the mourning widow the only person to tell mother-in-law? Are all the others in their own families mute? Don't own phones? Never message anyone? Are they Amish, so no technology? These days, someone bumps their head and news is all over the family wherever in the world they are. Something stinks and it's definitely not OP. Agree, mother-in-law is a mother of the year, said no one ever. Blood relationship does not entitle anyone to be in someone's life. She didn't earn a place in her son's life. That's on her. You and your husband gave her a chance to be there for him at the end, and she made her choice. She sounds like a narcissist who's more concerned with garnering public sympathy and playing the victim than actually caring about her own son's passing. Continue to block her from everything, including your own thoughts. My sister has always been a wedding person, as in she's dreamed and planned her wedding even before meeting her boyfriend. Now that she's engaged, she wants it all. Expensive cinematic venue, guest list in the hundreds, designer dress, etc. And she cares a lot about being the first and making everything special and just hers. I legitimately have nothing against that, and I'm happy that she's getting what she wants. The issue arose because my boyfriend planned an anniversary getaway to a tropical island that happens to be where my sister planned her honeymoon. I had no idea that she was planning to go there. They hadn't actually booked anything. She had just planned on it. And I didn't know until I shared the news with my family during a bi-weekly dinner we have together. Additionally, this was a surprise trip planned and paid for by my boyfriend, who would absolutely have no way of knowing my sister's plans. He's not close with her or her fiancé. She says that if I go there first, I'll take away the surprise and specialness of the destination, and is insisting that I cancel or change the destination. I'm pretty upset and called her entitled because there's no way I'm going to tell my boyfriend to change something very nice he did for me. My sister is now threatening to remove me from the wedding if I don't change my vacation, and my parents are begging me to give in to keep the peace. My boyfriend has offered to pick a new location because he hates seeing me upset and fighting with family. So I wonder if I'm being the idiot for being so stubborn about it all. Edit, the destination is Honolulu, Hawaii. Hey guys, I'm getting married in like 7 years, and I'm going to be breathing, walking and eating food at my wedding, and I really deserve for it to be my special day. So the whole world needs to stop doing all of those things until then, because I don't want anyone to steal my spotlight, okay? Yes, all 7.8 billion of you. After all, I've dreamed of this day since I was a little girl, so I should get it the way I want. Thanks. You are not the idiot. Personally, I'd skip the wedding. She sounds like a pain in the you-know-what. Honolulu, Hawaii? Do you mean the most generic romantic destination for Americans? Oh wow, I was at least expecting it to be a place that's less common as a vacation and honeymoon spot. That woman is going to be so mad when she goes on her honeymoon and realizes people have been living there for years without consulting her. Why should you have to cater to her insane behavior? Your sister is being a bridezilla. This is insane. If your sister wanted to be the first person to set foot on what I assume is an inhabited island, she needed to be born in the Mesozoic era. And shame on your parents for pressuring you to indulge her on this. OMG, this special snowflake does not own any destination other than her home. She sounds very extra and exhausting. Your boyfriend spent his money and planned something special. Even though he stated he would change the destination, probably at a cost, it would be pretty ungrateful. Seriously, if she banned you from the wedding, is that really such a bad thing? I, 32 female, grew up in a low-income household and was determined from an early age to start investing and owning real estate. I graduated from pharmacy school with minimum debt and bought my first rental property. I currently own 4 rental properties with my fiancé. We both learned how to remodel and fix basic things to keep costs low. We used the rental property money to invest in stocks and looking into buying a 5th property. My best friend, 32 female of 15 years, has been married to her husband for 3 years and they have 1 child and 1 on the way. Their landlord has decided to evict them. He's given them 60 days to find a new place. They've asked if they could live in one of my rental properties. The problem is they're not very clean people, and that is one of the main reasons for their eviction. My friend has 4 cats and they pee everywhere. They also tend to scratch the walls and cabinets. She just says it's just because they're idiots. Their current home is on the brink of being a hoarder's episode. Her husband spends his free time playing video games and doesn't try to help in cleaning or doing any woman chores. My friend has also asked if we could give her a discount on the rent since they're about to have their second baby. Both of them work, but my friend's job won't pay her the whole time she's on maternity leave. I told her I could give her a temporary reduction on the rent, but she would not be allowed to have the cats. She said they're like her children and couldn't get rid of them. She said that would be like asking her to get rid of her human children, and I'm the idiot for even suggesting it. I told her those were my stipulations. I've been fortunate that my tenants with pets are respectful and clean up religiously after them. She's currently not talking to me and telling our other friends that it's my fault she's about to be homeless. A couple of friends have said I should make an exception, but I've put so much time and money into these homes. So, am I the idiot for telling my friend she can't move in with her cats? Not the idiot. You have your crap together. She doesn't. I don't know how you've remained friends. I couldn't. And honestly, this was a choice between losing this friend now or losing them later after they'd ruined your home and you had to evict them. Agree. They've shown you your own property's future and they have no plans to change. Also, once they get in, they'll always be late with or not pay the rent and expect you to put up with it for friendship's sake. Do you really want to go through the horror of evicting them? Honestly, I wouldn't rent to someone that was evicted regardless of the cats. Yep, there's a reason she's being evicted. She isn't a good tenant. She's already asking you to discount rent and she hasn't moved in yet. Oh my lord, do not do this. She is preparing to take advantage of you, and this would certainly end the friendship, whatever friendship there was, if it isn't already clearly over by her somehow making wrecking her apartment and getting evicted your fault. Me, teen male, and my brother Max, 19 male, have always been very good academically. At home, our fridge is full of all our report cards and various achievements. My sister Fair, teen female, on the other hand, not so much. It's quite hard to find anything that has Fair's name on the fridge, not because she's the least favourite or isn't loved by my parents, but because she doesn't have any. In hopes of helping my sister with her academics, my mom made me and Max tutor Fair with one of the subjects she was finding difficult. Max does maths while I do English and my dad does science. I've enjoyed tutoring Fair, but it seems as if the feeling is not mutual. Example, last Friday I was tutoring Fair. She asked if she could quickly go to the toilet. I said yes. 10 minutes later, she's still not returned. When I went to check on her, I found her in the living room watching TV. Yesterday afternoon, Fair came to me and asked if I would please tutor her for her upcoming English test. I agreed, but only if she promised to pay attention this time. Fair promised she would, and for a while she stayed true to that. I was helping through something she found extremely challenging, and she was working with me until Max came home with McDonald's. Our parents are crazy health nuts, so fast food is a rarity in our home. Fair looked ready to put everything down just to eat and started claiming that all the studying was making her hungry. I told Max that we were busy and he should just leave the food in the oven and we'd heat it later. At this, Fair started to whine, saying that I was being unfair by not allowing her a break. Max decided to side with her, even though he knows how much she needs this tutoring, and started saying that I was being too strict. Fair beamed at that and was ready to go downstairs to eat. Something in me snapped. After all these times of trying to get Fair's attention failed, the one time it was needed, she was going to leave it to eat McDonald's. I told her not to go and she didn't listen. This angered me very much. She was still not listening to me. I raised my voice. Max says I yelled and told her, Fair, this is the reason why you're behind in all your classes. You're in all these extra classes like the piece of crap you are for a reason. Why won't you listen, you idiot? She immediately began to cry loud, ugly sobs after I'd yelled at her, while Max gave her a hug. When my parents came home, they were more annoyed that I'd called my sister an idiot than the fact that she wouldn't listen to me when I was repeatedly trying to get her to do some work. When I asked Max why he decided to side with Fair, he said that there was no point anyway because it was inevitable that she was going to fail. Fair won't even look me in the eyes, but she's been all over Max for helping her that afternoon. I feel like everyone forgets that she's a young teen, not a toddler, because she's the youngest. Am I the idiot for wanting my sister to do some work? You are the idiot. Maybe she was hungry. Maybe she just needed a break to then refocus. Maybe she wasn't feeling motivated. Who knows? You certainly never will because you've made clear that you have no interest in what she's feeling. The way you responded to her was awful. You denied her food and insulted her. She's a child. That's not how you teach children to improve themselves. This is solely hurtful and makes her more resentful. This is the parent's fault too. OP shouldn't be in this position of authority over his sister. A child that needs intense tutoring in 3 subjects needs to be evaluated and at least needs the help of a trained educator. OP might understand the material, but that doesn't qualify him to tutor, and even if he's a good tutor for other people, he may be a terrible tutor for his sister. I agree, your whole family sucks except the sister. You're awful to her and treat her as less than because she's not as academically gifted as you. Sounds like she has a terrible attention span. Has she ever been tested? I highly doubt there's nothing that could be put on the fridge to honour Fair. You all just don't value her. Shame on all of you, OP, and I hope Fair finds people who actually like her in the future.